Well, we are now looking at week 3, and you've already had plenty of exercises and how to get writing started and that sort of thing. So, what is the purpose of all that? You're going to read chapters 5 through 8 and chapter 15 in this week. Now, these chapters discuss a number of things. First, we talk about stress management. Stress management is an important tool for you because if you don't manage stress, stress will manage you and it'll kill you. And that's just bottom line. You don't have to be my age to have that kind of problem. I've known people in their 30s had stress management issues to the point that they wound up in hospital with heart attacks. Believe it or not, it happens, and it happens all the time. So stress management is an extremely important issue for you to learn about and know how to manage. So, along with that, we're talking about professional conduct in the next chapter you're going to read. Now, professional conduct doesn't mean how to sit pretty in the office or anything like that. For the most part, you're going to be talking about how do I watch my mouth and not say what I'm not supposed to say in a professional environment. You don't generally have just conversations in business. There's a purpose to them, and you're being measured by everything you say. If you don't believe that, you're going to fail quickly, early, and often. So don't let this become just an exercise for you. It's something you need to think about. We need to be aware of to whom we're speaking and how we're speaking. And if we have a problem, I will tell you that I have had a short trigger a number of times in my life. And I've said things I wish I'd never said. I had a very smart fella I worked for at one time said, when I've got my head down, it's not because I'm going to sleep. I've got it down because I'm counting to 5 so that I don't give you the answer that is sitting in my mouth and ready to fall out. Once I figured that out, it became a lot easier to handle some of those situations that I was getting myself into a lot of trouble with. But the point is, if we think about think about the rumor problem, the gossip problems, and how do people believe you if you're a person that winds up running around talking about the sky falling all the time? Don't cry wolf and all the other cliches you can think about. So we've got stress management, we've got professional conduct, and in that professional conduct, you're going to find plenty of opportunities for stress management. So think about that. We're also going to be talking about HR considerations. Now, human resources is another department in the company, but I will tell you right now that many of your internal controls as an accountant are going to be linked to HR, particularly in terms of your payroll controls. But you need to understand HR. You need to know the people working in HR. We're going to talk about relationships here in a while, and relationships with other departments is extremely important. So you're going to learn about the perquisites you might have, the perks from working in a company, what's available through HR, but just giving you a good idea of what HR actually does may help you work with them better, and that's the whole point. We're also going to talk about customer service. Customers come in a lot of shapes, forms, and locations. Many people don't think about the customers they have internally because those customers are people they need to take care of if they never have anything else to do with them. So we need to think about who we are a customer for and who is our customer inside the organization. Certainly, those customers outside the organization do some customer service, and we'll have a hand in that on occasion. We should not be in the desk all the time. We need to be outside finding out who our customers are and how we can best serve them. So customer service is an important part of what's going on. And finally, interviews is going to be one of those issues that we'll talk about as we get into what's this course all about. So, we will have during this week, for the activity, a virtual group interview. We will establish a date later through Blackboard. When groups, you will be formed into virtual groups, and there will be a virtual job interview. I'll be the interviewer, you will be the interviewees. And we will talk about what goes on then as we get closer to that date. This is not something that we can plan in detail ahead because it depends a lot on what our schedules are. So, you also need to develop for me a business memo. I said there would be some other writing requirements, and this is one of them. Business memo to tell me how you're going to manage stress when you have an interview with a person who is difficult to interview with. Now, you can define that difficulty any way you'd like, but it may be someone who is very abrupt, someone who may be rude. We're going to talk about how that comes along, and you'll read about that as well. But some interviewers have an act just to see how you react when things aren't going smoothly. It creates stress for you, and I want to know through this memo what you think some of those stressors may be and how you're going to handle them. So, have some reading to do, chapters 5 through 8 and chapter 15. 15 is on interviews. You're going to talk about stress management. You're going to talk about professional conduct, water cooler sort of stuff. We're going to talk about some HR considerations and customer service, and then we'll get down to the interview. And the activity is going to be that group interview to be scheduled during that week, and we'll set those times up later. Questions, problems, let me know. And don't forget, got that business memo you got to get out. Got to get all that stuff finished before you can move on to the next one. Thank you very much. I hope you're having as good a time as I am. Thank you.